Live YouTube at VOP903FM. Go onto your YouTube application on your smartphone or iOS device and type VOP903FM. You will see a red button on the can virtually be part of the conversation. I'm currently with Barrister Eze Eluche. He's a political and national social affairs commentator. He's joining us via the telephone to respond to some of the issues. Before I went on the break, I made mention of internal party issues. And is it possible that these parties will work against themselves in the upcoming elections? In the NDC, there are complaints of infractions. Persons who did not win their various constituencies are now the names being written there. Some of those who are disgruntled are already claiming that they would work against it at that very day of the election. The question is the leadership of the NDC aware of this? This same complaint was also heard in the APC as well as the ADC. We do not know how the APC resolved theirs or what compensation was given. Now, there are some politicians whose aim is not to win elections. This is a transactional period for this politician, where they make a lot of millions as high as 500 million naira, close to $1 billion. Oh yes, so let me tell you, some politicians will go buy up the entire constituency. They decide who will be put in there. When the person comes in, whether the person was voted in or not, there is already a name slated for that constituent. On that election day, when the vote ongoing, towards the end of it, that particular candidate can decide to step down. But before that, he has already sold it out. He will sell it to either the ruling party or to another party based on how important that constituency is. So some of them could ask for contracts, some of them could ask for positions in government, or some of them could use the opportunity to collect monies as high as 700 million naira, close to $1 billion, depending on how important that constituency is. These obviously create division, infractions within the and causes for some party members to go against their party. There are complaints that this is actually happening in the NDC, and we do not know how the NDC leadership intends to go about it. Peter Obi is by these individuals who have been calling out based on what they've heard about these anomalies. Remember that Peter Obi too is a presidential candidate. He's a leader, agreed, but he is not of that political party. Mr. Seriaka Dixon has come out specifically to dictate that supporters cannot complain or dictate how the party does what they want to do, and that they have a reconciliatory members like that. Unfortunately, some politicians, mostly from the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress, who have their money, actually want to ensure they win the ticket, despite the popularity vote during the primaries. So the question is this: what would happen to the tickets of Peter Kwankwaso if these issues are not properly resolved? Are we going to have internals working against the party because of these issues, especially with those who feel they had worked hard, they went around, galvanized, mobilized, and at the end of the day, they are not written out, considering the fact that they actually won? Barrister Eze Eluche, please kindly tell us what you think about this.
Thank you very much. Yes, this issue of internal wrangling is not an NDC affair.
Yeah.
It also shows up in the APC, the ATC, and the PDP. Even in the elections for governorship in Osun State, this month, or a couple of weeks back. Yes, there are several people who were contesting, but Mr. Bola Tinubu came out and anointed somebody, and he settled all the others. So the ruling party has a larger portfolio, it has a larger pocket to settle those who are disgruntled. And the NDC and the other parties do not have that resource without all the other contestants who do not get the ticket. But is it a worry for the NDC or the Nigerian electorate? It shouldn't be. Why? At the last election, if you recollect, when Peter Obi ran under the platform of the Labour Party, many people, many contestants, particularly in the Southeast, just jumped into the Labour Party because of the Peter Obi bandwagon effect, not just in the Southeast, also Southwest, Edo State, Plateau State, even Kaduna. People got elected on the platform of the Labour Party because of it. And what did they do the moment they got into the House and the Senate? They jumped here. They turned over and went into the ruling APC. So that all these characters who have spent to buy NDC tickets are also in the same vein. They are not party members. They are just opportunists, like you rightly address them. They are transactional politicians. So I just to, and the major target should be how do we change the top? Because once you have the right person at the top, I believe Nigeria will get better. Why do I say this? It's based on our constitution. The Nigerian constitution gives so much power to the person occupying the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So that no matter once you have the right person and he's not corrupt, he's not stealing, I assure you any other person down the line can be dealt with if he gets into power with the mind of stealing. So what's going on at these other levels, at the House, at the Senate, those who are spending 200 million, 300 million, in due course, they should actually be investigated and proved over how they even got those money. That is, if we're able to correct the wrongs by putting in the right person as the President of the Federal Republic. So the target on the day of the election for the presidency, which happens to be the Senate and House of Reps, election takes place, is to ensure that we do the right thing and vote the right person for the office of President. And then all other things will fall in line. As for those who are blaming Mr. People who are trying to cast aspersion on him, it's not, we know it's not the reality. He has no say or he has no input in all these other House and Senate elections. If he has secured his own ticket, okay. Then on that day, Nigeria should do the need. I want people, when you vote for the president, you must bother voting for the others. Because you know where I am, the Labour, those who want for Labour, under the platform when Prince Obi was contesting for House of Reps, but when it was contesting for Senate, those same platform to go to, those who won for Senate and House of Reps when Prince Obi was going for President, Labour, all of the two of them, they all jumped into the APC less than a week after getting to office. So why would I bother with those kind of characters? So the issue is focus on the president, and once you get to see, I'm sure when if he gets into office, he should know what to do. And then it's not impossible. Like a man who tells you he wants 1 month or one tenure to do. If you have the right people as the chairman of the EFCC, the right person as the DSS, and right people as the police IG, and how about this criminal element populating the house? And you don't need to be a magician to put them in order. And even sometimes, instead of even being inaugurated, they will be in prison. If there is evidence to put them to, that's where they belong. So Nigeria should not be bothered about all these shenanigans, all these activities, the hundreds of millions they are spending for those who want to get this primaries under the NDC. They should focus on the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Do you think that they are already infiltrated with the current situation right now? I think they're infiltrated. And for Timmy Frank calling on Mr. Donald Trump to come help, how is Donald Trump meant to help with the situation of the deregistration of the ADC?
Timmy Frank is a joker. What is he calling? I mean, at times we do ridiculous things. You've not done your own thing. You are calling on foreigners. What concerns Mr. Trump with the NDC or the I mean, it's actually some of this is actually plain. What does it mean by calling in a foreign president to come and deal with your own domestic problems? Let us do what we need to do, and the needful we need to do is to get our PVCs ready, make sure that we vote on the day for presidency, be sure that the votes count at your local ward. Then if there's any changes, not going to litigation, because in this we have come to realize that the courts are a waste of time under this dispensation. I mean, it has become that bad. So once there is a something of the vote, at that point, if not a polling unit, ensure it is corrected. And if that happens nationwide, then the world will know that something has gone wrong. And what is that person calling on outside this country to come in over party primaries is a joke, a rabble trying to make nothing. Thank you.
All right, Barrister, very quickly. In this particular matter right now, heading towards the 2027 elections, there are concerns about the institution of INEC being objective to ensure that they have credible elections, with certain persons able to be viewed. Some persons' PVCs up till now, despite what they've gone through, they said they've not been able to make whatever corrections they want to make. Then you now have the court, where that the court has been bought over. For example, just today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu supposedly commissioned judges' quarters, says it's an investment. The president reaffirmed his administration's commitment to judicial independence and institutional reforms as he commissioned the newly completed 10-unit Court of Appeal Judges' Quarters at Abuja. Wiki has said critics can go on wailing, but the administration of the president is doing so well. The president has said it is not only the judges that are getting good houses, that there is already a housing unit across all the 36 states of the federation, which is going to be leased affordably. So, barrister, do you think the judges are being bought over? Is this for 2027, or they're doing the needful to make sure that vital institutions are comfortable?
I think we should be focused in our criticism of if there is money to build houses for federal ministers, for federal appointees. What is wrong with building houses for federal and these are houses for judges? I mean, when you retire, you leave the house, somebody else will take over the place. So it's like building structures that are important, they should be built.
But the puts in that policy by saying that it's a way of supposedly buying the judges' decision-making process to objectively make decisions now the elections are coming up. Obviously, political involved in that particular procedure.
Now, if the buildings will be given to the judges to take away when they're even retired, then there's a problem. It will be seen as a bribe. But if there are buildings that will be quarters for judges to live, I mean, it's just like if I don't blame the government for building bars for soldiers or for police, if adjudicate over life and death issues, then you put it in a place where you'll be at risk. Judges should also be protected. So I don't see anything wrong with it. Those are judges, but not for individual judges who will take them away when they are retired. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, we've heard instances where the judges were given lands even beyond the judges' quarters. So it was not done by the president, it was done by the FCT minister himself. Now, barrister, in this particular regard, speaking further concerning institutions advertised by the current political party, if you have a system that claims as we claim that is already corrupt and bereft of any form of objectivity, so these opposition political parties will present a better alternative to what is already existing.
Well, I can assure you that none of them political parties, because Nigeria we don't even have the culture of political parties. And that now the century is the individual, the particular candidate. That's what Nigerians should be out for, not the political party. So for instance, if in a particular political party you think they have a very good candidate, for that one, and they have another one has a candidate for House of Reps, yes. But as for saying you only vote for one political party, even the NDC, it does not work that way. But then if in the you see a very viable candidate for presidency, then you only select him, and that may even be the only vote you vote if you really want to make a change. So that's my own belief. I don't talk about political parties in Nigeria. In a period of 6 months, they've jumped into 3 or 4 political parties. So there's nothing like political parties in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, so in that regard, barrister, finally, Peter Obi has formally Okonkwo, and he says that the issue of taking Kenneth Okonkwo to court wouldn't have arisen if he had stopped at those allegations, but that he claimed he would expose about him in the future. So he's very happy to take him to court so that Kenneth can expose him publicly alongside other Nigerians if any of them allegations against him, and anyone who has criminal allegations against him should actually present it to court. In fact, Kenneth went ahead as saying that all that he has supposedly disclosed against Mr. Peter Obi, he believes adequately that due diligence and sense of objectivity is lacking. In the case of the ADC, Kenneth Okonkwo was disparaging Atiku for picking Rotimi Amici as his vice. In that regard, barrister, some ADC berating Kenneth by saying that he's a rabble-rouser, a double speaker, and he stinks because he has no sense of self or loyalty. What's your response to this, barrister?
It's not just an issue of Kenneth Okonkwo. Look at characters, Femi Fani-Kayode, Nanuga. These are some people who speak from the two sides of their mouth. I mean, they're void of principle, they're void.
Hello, sir. Hello, Barrister Eza. All right, we'll get across to him again so he completes his thoughts and then lines. We actually had quite a number of conversations today. I do hope that a lot of you kept tags to respond appropriately to the issues discussed. He's a political, national, and social affairs commentator, and we've been having quite the healthy conversation with him. All right, we can't reconnect with him. We'll try to do that as soon as possible. In the meantime, our thoughts. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. I'll call it very slowly, and I'll call out the number intermittently. 3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-33. 0817-1756-338. Again, the number to call 080-3692. Sir, please kindly complete your thoughts, sir. We can take the calls, the reaction.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, now what I was trying to say is actors like Kenneth Okonkwo are unfortunately trumped up for the youth to see as role models. Why do I say this? Look at people like Reno Omokri, Femi Fani-Kayode, Naira, and Co. People who and they tend to cater to whatever the highest bidder. They are now occupying high offices in government. Reno Omokri and Fani-Kayode were touted as ambassadors. And even within a period of 3-4 months, they can double speak and criticize, abuse who they were initially hailing. That is the same thing with Kenneth Okonkwo. But I think what is built in, you can't go and fight such characters. Let him go and deal with the system in the courts. And if he has evidence, indeed, let him bring back those evidence. But the young man is just a rabble rouser. He thinks he's still acting. He thinks real life. You cannot differentiate between real life and drama, real life and Nollywood. But he should now to feel the consequences of his speaking, feel the consequences of coming to malign others by talk. Feeling he can say whatever he wants to say. So I think the right thing is to be defend all those allegations he's making. But the sad thing about him is that he has exposed himself as an anywhere belly thing. Even the president is now purportedly speaking for, will not trust him for 1 minute, because he knows that the same way this Kenneth Okonkwo is P2B is how Kenneth Okonkwo will speak bad about Atiku Abubakar after these elections. So he will be kept at a distance, and I just already said it. When Mr. Atiku goes in for it, matters like Kenneth Okonkwo will be asked to sit outside. Maybe they'll be giving him some money to go and buy food or whatever, because that is the level, the low life level he has sunk himself into. And nobody takes him serious in this, because he should go and defend his accusations against P2B in a court of law. And then if he can establish those things, good for him. If he cannot, he should look for that 5 billion. Maybe he has to come back to this life 3 or 4 times before he can acquire that kind of money to pay that kind of damages. Thank you very much.
All right, Barrister, sorry. About